$10,000 of federal student loan cancellation has been announced, but there may be a catch. I have all the details and what you need to know about this topic right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now I do want to talk through all the moving parts on this $10,000 of federal student loan debt cancellation because some things have changed in the last few hours. So let's get right into it. All right, so yesterday afternoon, we got some breaking news that hit the wire. According to three people very familiar with this topic, they said the president would be coming out this afternoon announcing $10,000 of federal student loan debt cancellation per borrower. Now, as of right now, there are about 43 million federal student loan borrowers that this would directly impact in a pretty nice way. $10,000 completely wiped off the board off your federal student loans. Sounds pretty amazing, right? However, some things have changed, and I do want to talk through those details, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day with all of these moving parts, all the breaking news, all of these updates, and everything going on right now during this very, very busy time as new information is hitting the wire every single day. I truly want to help you out in any way that I possibly can. Grab as much money, benefits, programs, checks, and anything else we possibly can right here, right now with this very busy time and all of these announcements that continue to hit the wire. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into the rest of this update. All right, so after we got that initial breaking news announcement yesterday afternoon, a few hours later, we got an adjustment or correction, maybe we should call it. So here's what they came out and said. Now stick with me on this because there is a lot more to talk about with this topic. So shortly afterward, a few hours later, in fact, like early yesterday evening, we got the new information that came out saying the president has not fully decided on the $10,000 quite yet. It's not official, but yet the three people familiar with the sources that I talked about earlier, those people said, according to the administration, they're going to do that, and he was supposed to be announcing it this weekend. However, the president's agenda did change a little bit because of some recent events that went on here in the United States. So his schedule for this weekend has actually changed a little bit, but he was supposed to be announcing it this weekend at a commencement address in Delaware. However, let me tell you the details on this a little bit further. So here's how this whole thing shakes out. Let me tell you the numbers behind this. Like I said, about 43 million federal student loan borrowers as of right now. According to the reports and all of the statistics that I was reading on this, according to what they were saying, this would cost the taxpayers, in other words, the federal government, but realistically, they'd be using tax dollars to do this. It would cost $321 billion to wipe out $10,000 per borrower right off the board. So to me, the math doesn't really make sense here because in my head, when I run the math on this, it should be more like $430 billion. But again, this is just what they're saying as of right now. Maybe some of the balances would be below $10,000. Therefore, if somebody has $5,000 and they wipe out $10,000, you know what I mean? Maybe that's how the difference is coming out here. But anyway, so $321 billion is what this would cost. At the same time, this would also completely eliminate federal student loan debt for 11.8 million of the borrowers out there right now. So this would reduce the federal student loan borrowers. Again, $10,000 would be reducing to your balance, but at the same time, the 43 million would be reduced down to about 32 million people who owe money to the federal government in the form of federal student loan debts and those payments, right? So again, this would be a pretty big deal. However, here's some of the pushback that's out there right now. Number one, we're seeing, of course, some information coming out of the progressives saying $10,000, that's it? You can do way better than this. We've been calling on $50,000. We're not going to stop until we get the $50,000. However, about a month ago or so, the president was coming out saying he's considering the $10,000 or some cancellation to federal student loan debt, but he is not considering $50,000. However, we do know that progressives do have a pretty big impact on what goes on right now. So maybe the president will come out and adjust that dollar amount from $10,000. Maybe he'll go up $20,000, maybe $15,000. Who knows what it'll be? But he did say about a month ago that he is not considering $50,000 per borrower. So I'll keep you posted on that as well. However, that's one of the arguments out there right now is progressives are saying you got to do more than this. $10,000, that's nothing. We got to do way more than this. Now, there is a lot of other talk out there right now also saying that if this were to happen, if this $321 billion is wiped off the board, If we think inflation is bad right now, they're saying, watch out. This is going to just exacerbate the entire inflation situation right now, and we're going to see prices go significantly higher on virtually everything right here, right now. So, again, we'll have to see what actually happens with that, if it actually happens as far as the cancellation, and if so, what will happen with inflation going forward. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do about that. We just have to sit here and kind of wait because, I mean, literally, we don't have any authority behind any of this. So, unfortunately, we are somewhat at the mercy of what these lawmakers decide going forward and what the president decides going forward, especially as it pertains to all of this inflation, which ultimately, at the end of the day, impacts each and every one of us in a pretty big way, right? So, as I do get more information on any of this, of course, I will continue to keep you posted. But a lot of other people are coming out right now also saying, okay, $10,000 is a nice start, but you promised way more than this, right? So there's a lot of different kind of opposition coming out right now about this $10,000. At the end of the day, it's still $10,000 for about 43 million people. So it's a pretty big deal, but at the end of the day, I completely recognize how a lot of people are also saying you need to do more. But then again, there's also, on the other hand, many other people coming out saying, I don't have federal student loan debts. I never have had federal student loan debts, or I did have federal student loan debts and I paid them all off. What about me? Are you going to cut me a check for $10,000? What about my debts? What about my mortgage, my car payment, my credit cards? What about my rent payments? What about all this? Are you going to wipe out those debts in the amount of $10,000 for me as well? So as you can see here, there's a lot of back and forth on this whole thing right now. And as far as we can understand, as far as everything that I've been reading about this, for anybody else who has previously paid off their federal student loan debts, or maybe who has credit card debt or mortgages or auto loans or rent payments, things like this, according to what I've been reading about this, the answer to that is pretty much, sorry, we don't have anything for you. We're doing this for federal student loan borrowers, and that's it. So, again, please don't be upset with me. I am just simply the messenger. This is what I am reading out there in the headlines and all of these reports talking about the $10,000 of federal student loan debt, and many other people that are coming out wondering, what about me? I don't have federal student loan debt. Where's my $10,000 check? And the answer that continuously comes up is, sorry, nothing. We've got nothing for you. That's it. So, as you can see here, there's a lot of controversy about this topic, but either way, it looks like the president wants to get something done here. However, one more thing that I want to point out as well. As of right now, federal student loan payments are still being held up, as in you don't need to pay until September 1st. So they're still in forbearance until the end of August. However, let's throw this out there as well, just to be real. In the event that this cancellation does not go through, or even if it does go through, the likelihood of federal student loan payments resuming as of September 1st is highly, highly, highly unlikely. It's not happening. Highly doubt it. Here's why. For the tens of millions of people who have federal student loan debts, do you think that those payments are really going to resume 2 months before the midterm elections? No, it's not happening, okay? There will likely be another extension, whether the cancellation comes in and happens, whether the cancellation doesn't happen. The likelihood of federal student loan payments resuming as of September 1st is like very, very slim. I would say almost non-existent, okay? Because there's no way after over 2 years, 2.5 years at that point, almost more than 2.5 years at that point, for federal student loan payments to be resumed 2 months before the midterm elections, it's just not happening. There's just no possible way, especially at this time right now when they want votes, when they need votes. There's no way that they're going to resume those payments right before people need to go out and vote. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Anyway, only time will tell on all of this, as I always like to say in the videos, but of course, I will continue watching everything closely. As I do get more details, I'll be right back here for you, breaking it down, letting you know how this will help out anybody in this community, as well as any other payments, checks, money, benefits, raises, anything else that may be coming out right now. Of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it down, helping you out in any way that I possibly can. So if you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe down below, share the video with your friends, family, social media, and of course, go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. I want to do what I can to help you out during this time and keep you updated with all of these changes that are happening every single day. Enjoy your day, stay safe out there, and until next time, have a nice day.